The Truth About Chakras, Part 3.
All is mind, but the mind is not the all.
Peace once again, my fellow expressions of consciousness. If you are new to this channel, what I do here is I help point people outside of their limiting beliefs that they are a limited being, because it's simply not true. If you have not yet watched parts 1 and 2 of this mini-series entitled The Truth About Chakras, please do so now, as it will give you a better understanding on what I'm speaking of, on the perspective that I'm coming from. For example, by now you'll understand, if you've watched parts 1 and 2, that the chakras do not actually exist. I'll say that again, the chakras do not exist. But they are concepts, they are tools, they are a map to help us connect more deeply within ourselves. Because you experience at every moment of every day in your life that what you actually are is non-physical, in that you will take yourself, or you do take yourself, to be the thinker of thoughts. Speaking generally, not talking to a person on a spiritual path right now. Just the everyday person will take themselves to be the thinker of thoughts, which is fine. That's the experience, right? The experience is, I think my thoughts. Thought is not physical. You cannot find a thought in a brain. You cannot find a thought in your fingers. You cannot find a thought in the world. So the thinker is not physical. You taking yourself to be the thinker means you are taking yourself to be non-physical. Emotions. We recognize emotions. Happiness, joy, sadness. These are not physical either. So that one that recognizes them, again, it shows that you take yourself to be the one experiencing happiness, that says I am happy, is not actually physical. So if it's true that even on the level, the everyday level of being a human, that a human essentially is not physical, the body, okay, yes, but the person is not physical, the psychological self is not, then we can actually use this to our advantage when it comes to bringing more peace to ourselves, bring more love to ourselves, happiness. How? Like this. That which is non-physical, by definition, has no boundaries at all. It is non-physical. That which has boundaries has a limit. That which has boundaries has the opportunity to experience intensity. That intensity brings us right into the body, the so-called Maya, the matrix, the so-called physical world. Intense feelings. Knowing that we are that which is non-physical, intensity disappears completely. We are just floating around in space again. Not really, but we then understand that we are that which is non-physical, thus that which is non-physical cannot be sharing the same limits and pains and frustrations and anxieties. Not even happiness does that which is non-physical share. If that's our essential self, then we can use that understanding to get ourselves out of a rut. For example, which organ do we correlate with love? Which bodily or body organ? Of course, the heart. Doesn't matter why. We don't need to get into a conspiracy. This is only about experience, thus truth. Within our world, or most of the world at least, we correlate love with the physical heart. But obviously, I don't like to say obviously too much, but we can see that love is not actually the physical heart. We're not actually talking about the physical heart. It's a so-called spiritual heart, because love itself is not a physical thing that you can see and pick up and manipulate. Nobody can manipulate love, whether they think they are or not. That manipulation is taking place within love. Love is the substratum of all. When we see that love is that which allows anything to happen at all. So if we feel that we are lacking in love, what we can then do is put our hands over our heart. We don't have to, but we have that strong belief that this is the love center, so be it. Don't need to fight it. We don't need to be uber woke, super woke. No, that's fine. So if this is our love center, remember using a chakra map. If we close the eyes, it's even better, but we don't need to. We feel we don't have much love. What you can do is simply rest your hands on your heart or in front of your heart, and don't do anything at all, but simply be. And just, if you do anything, just think of love. In the thinking of love or the doing nothing, both of those so-called actions are actually bringing you closer to the source of what you are. Because again, thinking of love, you're thinking of that which is non-physical. You cannot find the non-physical. So the non-physical is expansive. So you're reminding yourself that you are expansive, thus your heart is expansive, you are love. Or in doing nothing, again, that's still so-called reconnecting you with the source that you actually never left. Because no thing is what you essentially are. No thing, meaning, or another way to say, that which is boundless. You cannot find the boundless by definition. And you can do this with all the so-called chakras as a map. You can do it with your throat chakra. Same thing, put your hands in front of your voice box. And again, do nothing, or just think of being confident in speaking. If you can't think of yourself as a confident speaker, think of someone who you see as confident in speaking. Because you must be comparing yourself to somebody else. So you can definitely think of somebody who you see as a powerful, prominent, articulate, confident speaker. Think of that person. And again, thinking of that person is connecting you closer to the truth of what you are, because thinking is not physical. Okay, you've created a bit of space between the so-called physical and the so-called non-physical. You are taking it away, the belief away from the actual experiencing, or the throat. And you're now in your subtle body, the mind. So now you're thinking of this powerful speaker. You're actually merging with this powerful speaker without even realizing it. Because this whole experience you are having right now of the thought of this powerful speaker that you admire is taking place where? In your mental faculties. Your mental faculties, again, is unbounded. There is no boundary on a thought. That's why you can think of anything. Okay, when we're talking about things, of course you cannot think of no thing though. But when we talk about things, we're talking about the human level right now. You have merged with that thought, because that thought is happening within you. If you can think of a confident speaker, then it must be so that you have this ability too. Because your confidence does not come from your body, it comes from that subtle body again. Confidence is not physical. It's a so-called inner energy. Or again, just by stopping and doing nothing, again, you are creating that space between the idea of being a physical person who has anxiety and stress and the no-thingness that you essentially are. You're not that anxiety and that stress and that happiness, and you cannot, it's not about you cannot, but you are not those things you perceive. Essentially speaking, you are that which allows all to arise within. On another level, all that arises within the formless that you are is of course essentially formless, but I don't want to make this video too deep right now. I've done it on plenty of videos before. But let's just say essentially you are that which is experiencing or aware of experience. But it's not the experience itself. Just as you are aware of a bus driving past you, but you are not the bus itself. Again, this can be done with any chakra. The root chakra, if you're feeling like you are disconnected from the world, which is not a good thing, of course, because actually that's an important point. When I'm saying that essentially you are non-physical, it does not mean that you are not in the world too. You are in the world and outside the world. You are in the world and outside the world and not in the world. You are all at once. You experience yourself on the ground, yet you are also that which is experiencing that experience. And that experience, as I said before, is not physical itself. So you're amazing. But of course, we need to feel that we are in the world to function properly. So if you're feeling ungrounded, again, you can put your hands over your root chakra, which is basically your genitalia area. And again, just do nothing or think of groundedness. Think of the earth, the soil. Think of how close to the ground a snake is. Imagine how stable a snake is. Your feet right now, if they are touching the ground, they are stable on the ground. So that reconnection, again, is taking place in the non-physical realm, which is the one of the realms is the mental realm that I'm speaking of now. Thus, it's easier for you to merge with the idea that you are not disconnected from the ground, the earth, because you are just in your subtle body now. Again, you've created that space between the so-called physical belief and the subtle body belief. I am grounded. I am grounded. You don't have to keep saying it, but it can help if you really feel ungrounded. But better, in my opinion, although we're all different, of course, different expressions of the one source, it's best to just be. So just thinking, don't have to put too much on this. Just think of strength, think of the ground, think of a strong rock, think of how close a snake is to the ground, think of how close your feet are to the ground. Without saying anything, just think of that. That's enough, because you are becoming that stability just in the thinking and in the being still and silent. Connecting more deeply within yourselves. This is a beautiful way to help the person who is not uber spiritual understand that they always have this space that they can create between the belief they are solely the body and the understanding that they are not solely the body. They are the body too, you are the body too, but you're also that which is subtle. That which is subtle is imperceivable, is unbounded, yet it's you. So it's a quick way to see you are that which is unbounded. You are great and you are small. You're small in that you are the body, but also that which is experienced in the body. The body is dense, so we can say that small, it's dense, but you are that which is experiencing the experience. So you're also great, because you cannot perceive that experiencer, because it's the experiencer. Of course, on a high level, there is no experiencer either, but it's enough to know that you are that which is experiencing the body. So that's, keeping it on the chakras, that's the way I suggest you can use chakras to benefit yourself. So I'm not saying chakras are bad, don't use chakras at all. And no, concepts are needed completely. How can we live life without concepts? Okay, a single letter is a concept. There's no such thing as words in nature. We create them. They're ideas, they're thoughts, abstractions, same as numbers. But we use these concepts to help us experience in a particular way. And a particular way is called human. If you got any value from this video, please comment, like, subscribe would be fantastic. Have a wonderful day or evening, my fellow expressions of consciousness. Peace.